Let's take a game too. Woo! 80% win rate. Mono red taking it home. That was a pretty close match. I was a little bit worried when they got their cleave out for us. Hey everybody, welcome back, and thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today we are playing between the top 300 and top 500 in Mythic, climbing up quite successfully with an 80% win rate within my matches, of course, utilizing Red Riding Hood, a mono red aggro deck that focuses around the one and only Anax Embercleave combo with Torbran to clean it up if something happens to our field, like a Storm's Wrath or Shattered Sky. We're going to break down the deck in its entirety if you guys are interested in learning how I pilot this deck. Wondering why these cards are included? Let me go through that as well. Talking about strategies, the synergies, how to effectively pilot this deck to get you wins and climb the rank into Mythic. No matter what rank you currently are, I believe that this deck is, certified to climb at least into Diamond if you're a beginner. Just learning the interactions, and that's why we do have the deck tech, is to get the people who are newer to the game up to speed, so they can skip a lot of the training grounds situation. Of course, if you're not interested, jump right into the gameplay footage. I understand. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to support the channel, and yeah, thanks a bunch. Let's get into it. All right, Red Riding Hood starts out with 4 copies of the Fervent Champion, a 1/1 with First Strike and Haste. Base value is amazing. Whenever Fervent Champion attacks, another target attacking knight you control gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. That's great because, you've got multiple copies of the Fervent Champion, and we actually have a few more knights incorporated in the deck as well. So we will be making use of that ability, on the regular. And then equip abilities, you activate that target Fervent Champion, costs 3 less to activate, which is quite nice, bringing us into our Embercleave. We looked at the Alpha, now let's check out the Omega. This is a 6 CMC with Flash, 1 less to cast for each attacking creature that we control. When Embercleave enters the battlefield, automatically equip it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, has First Strike and Trample. So this is nice because we're going wide with creatures to reduce the mana cost, and why we bring it up second is because the equip cost on it is 3. So if you equip it, that creature gets removed, the Embercleave still stays in play, and you can re-equip it at sorcery speed for 3. Coming back now to our Fervent Champion, the equip is 3 less to activate, so it can be equipped to the Fervent Champion for free. Very, very nice synergy there. So not only does the Fervent Champion reduce the cost of Embercleave, but it also buffs itself and other knights up, and it can now equip the Embercleave later on for free, potentially. Moving on, the Fireblade Charger, 4 copies of this, a 1/1. As long as it's equipped, it has haste, so if Embercleave is in play, you can equip it for 3. The Charger equals 4. Now you've got a 2/2 with double strike and haste and trample, which is pretty cool. And then when it dies, it will deal damage equal to its power to any target. So not only will that represent 4 damage going into your opponent because, the 2/2 double strike, but when it dies, if they kill it, now you're going to get an extra 2 damage as well. So that's not a bad play line either. 2 copies of Shock to round up our 1-drops at instant speed, dealing 2 damage to any target. Into our 2-drops now, we've got 2 copies of Rimrock Knight. I just want to say 4 all the time. I'm so used to always having 4 copies of everything in the deck, but this is really a utility card, much like Shock, where it doesn't need 4 copies. It's a 3/1 knight that cannot block. We're not looking to really block ever. We're trying to stay on the offensive. The Fervent Champion, of course, will help the Rimrock Knight get to a 4/1, which is quite nice as well, especially if we are Embercleaving a target. The target we want to Embercleave is typically the creature who is attacking with the highest power. We have Boulder Rush as well, which is very nice. Target creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. This can go on our Embercleave target for quite cheap, 1 extra mana. It's +2/+0 transfers because of the double strike into +4. Very nice damage per mana. We can also put the +2 onto the Fervent Champion, which has First Strike. Now, this is instant speed, so we can do some combat tricks, right? Because First Strike deals that damage first, so we can really kill anything that our opponent may think survive that interaction, whether they're attacking and we're defending or we're attacking, and they're defending, right? Typically, we want to be the ones attacking, remember? But they can be like, oh, I can block this Fervent Champion, here we go. And then, you know, Boulder Rush, you clean it up anyways. No, you can't. So that's right. Anyways, we also have Stomp as our last 2-drop at instant speed on the Bonecrusher Giant as the Adventure. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. And then the Giant is our first 3 converted mana cost card, a 4/3, and whenever it becomes the target of a spell, it will deal 2 damage to that spell's controller. 2 copies of Soul Sear at instant speed. Soul Sear deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That permanent loses indestructible until the end of turn. So, you know, this is nice. It can take out Heliod, Thassa if you see it, just for the indestructible. Wicked Wolf has indestructible as well, potentially, which is quite nice. So, decent. 4 copies of Anax. This is a really one of the key components to the deck, like I mentioned in the intro. Its power is equal to your devotion to red. Whenever it or another non-token creature we control dies, create a 1/1 red satyr that cannot block, and if the power of that creature was 4 or greater, create 2 of those satyrs instead. This is nice. One of the synergies we can do here is playing an Anax on top of an Anax. Both of them exist in play, therefore the abilities on each trigger, which is really nice when one of them dies. So you'll actually have the devotion above 4, so they each create 2. You'll get 4 satyrs if you play an Anax on top of an Anax, and you'll actually still get to keep one of those Anax. So, you know, sometimes you attack with the Anax, it's tapped, you have that spare one, you play it in, make the satyrs, and now you've got a blocking Anax as well, which is a pretty decent play. Moving on, 3 copies of our Phoenix of Ash. This is a 2/2 with flying and haste. We can pump it by +2/+0 for 3 until the end of turn. We can also replay it from our graveyard via the escape for 4 mana plus 3 cards exiled from our graveyard. It escapes into play again with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, making it a 3/3 with flying and haste, which is quite nice. It is very good against the current mill meta. It's also good for Devotion and Anax. 3 copies of Torbran, Thane of Redfell, are only 4-drop. This is a 2/4. When a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent if a permanent an opponent control or a permanent an opponent controls, woof, you know, you'll deal that much damage +2 is what I mean to say. So whether that damage goes into your opponent's health points, a planeswalker, or a creature, it'll deal that much damage +2. And, you know, it's a decent body as well. Typically, if we have Anax in play, we like to hold Torbran in our hand in case we see Shatter the Sky, in which case we'll get a whole field of Satyr tokens, and now we play Torbran, and now we can get in for quite a bit of damage that way, because those 1/1s now attack as 3/1s, which is pretty cool because of Torbran's ability. Moving on, we talked about Embercleave already, so 3 Castle Embereths to round out the deck. Tap it for 4. All creatures get +1/+0 until the end of turn, which is nice. And then 17 mountains, 20 lands total with the 24 within the Smashing, which is a little bit of removal for us as well, right? You know, I'm not sure that we actually mentioned the Smashing. Dealing X damage divided as we choose among up to 2 creatures or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, it deals twice that damage instead, and the Smashing comes untapped unless we pay 3 life. So a little bit of removal, and it helps us stay on curve if we don't have the land. And I think we also miss Robber of the Rich, a 2/2 with reach and haste. And whenever Robber of the Rich attacks, if defending player has more cards in their hand than you, exile the top card of their library. During any turn you attacked with a rogue, you may cast that card and spend mana as though it were any color, which is quite nice. So this can really interrupt some of the control decks, right? Because you can grab their removal spells. Heck, you can even grab their land that they might need. So Robber of the Rich just adds more RNG to the game, in my opinion, and can really benefit you. You'd be surprised how much work that the Robber does just by interrupting your opponent's draw. Even if you're not playing those cards, you're taking the ability for their opponent to draw them and then play them, which is really, really nice. That's the deck list. I think we've hit everything here. No stone left unturned. Let's talk about our general strategy and synergy. We want to flood the field with creatures to reduce the cost of our Embercleave, like I mentioned early, and we want to be hitting Anax on turn 3, which again will open up a turn 4 Embercleave on top of our Anax, which is ideal because Anax's power is equal to your devotion to red, and the Embercleave has 2 devotion to red, as we see. Anax gives +1/+1, so really Anax will receive +3/+1, double strike, and trample, which is very, very nice. So, you know, if you've got, say, a Fervent Champion in play, a Robber of the Rich in play, and Anax in play, you know, its devotion is 4. You play Embercleave, devotion goes to 6, plus it gets 1, so it's, you know, a 7 with double strike, hitting very, very hard, which is really, really nice. And, you know, we even have the ability on our turn 4 when we're attaching our Embercleave to put in more creatures, because say we're reducing it by 3, it will cost 3 on turn 4. That gives us 1 spare mana in which we can either cast a Robber of the Rich because it has haste. We're spending the spare mana, and then we are spending that second mana, but it gets, you know, basically refunded because it's attacker that reduces the cost of cleave. The same goes with Fervent Champion. Because it has haste, we can play it basically for free as long as we remember to leave the 2 red sourced mana to equip it, right? We can reduce it as up to as much as 4, casting it for 2, which is nice. So you can still, on turn 4, sneak in creatures with haste to reduce the cost even further, which is really, really nice. And then, like I said, you know, maybe your opponent uses a Shatter, maybe they use Storm's Wrath, boom, you get a bunch of satyrs, now you play Torbran, and you finish the deal. So you're looking to curve out in your draw hands, whether this be a Fervent Champion, a Robber of the Rich, an Anax, and then, you know, 3 land. That's good enough for me. You can trade Anax for an Embercleave as well, as long as you've got some early drop creatures, because you do not have to cleave Anax, but it certainly helps. So, you know, just really looking to be able to play early on in the game. You don't want to have 3 lands and then only 3 and 4 drops, right? Because now you're basically relying on top decking a 1-drop and a 2-drop to stay consistent on your curve and keep pace, because as an aggro deck, you need to make the most out of every single turn in the early game. Your turn 1 has to be banging, your turn 2 has to be banging, your turn 3, and your turn 4. You should win the game. If you can't win the game turn 4, you basically need to win on turn 5. And if it goes past that, you're really treading dangerous water because of the you know, utility and access to available mana and stuff that your opponents will have. So that's that, you guys. I hope you learned a little bit about Mono Red and Red Riding Hood. I used this deck to climb from the top 500 Mythic into the top 300 Mythic. So a really good time, a really fun deck, 80% win rate in my games today. I hope you guys enjoy. If you want to support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe for future content, going above and beyond to support financially on Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, and our Amazon link if you so choose. And those of you who have, I really, really appreciate you. And just generally everyone who's watching, giving their time and attention, whether this is your first video or you've been here on the journey for quite some time now. I thank you kindly, I appreciate you. Like I said, enjoy the gameplay footage, and we'll be back to wrap up with our closing thoughts. Well, our opponent goes first, which sucks. We don't see a companion, so that's interesting. We have our 3 land into Anax, and we have removal with a Robber. So this is definitely a hand that we would keep, right? Ooh, mono green could be gross. And we pick up a 1-drop. That's amazing. Now we have 1, 2, 3 into Cleave on turn 4. Removal if we need it. Different for 2. We kill it because it can be mutated upon, and that's really gross. So we'll try to take it out. Mutate's disgusting, right? So let's just get that out of the way. Gorbo. This guy's big. And we have to take Yorvo out immediately, right? So the removal's coming in handy there. It's more than just playing your creatures and cleaving sometimes. Even though that's all we want to do. Into now a questing beast. Wow. Someone's getting ahead of themselves. No attacks. We can block and kill the beast now. That's fine. No way. They've got a fight effect. Shoot! Now we can't block them. That's good. Oh, 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 oh! So it's really only the Robber that can attack. Even though these can't block, I don't want to just sacrifice them. But if he wants to trade Robber for Beast, I'm okay with that. As long as there's no more fight effects. Should be lethal. I don't want to do the math if it's not. Let's see how they block. You know, we do have the Embercleave. Along with this? No. Not quite. That's all that's going on. So if we go +1 to everything, we get an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. If we go Embercleave, we get an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, right? Because of the Torbran in play. Do we kill the beast? Right, we could go to 2 and still kill it. Or do we go in for lethal? So do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. I think it's just lethal. Math. Right? Nice. Sometimes, you know, you have to do a little bit of forethought with mono red. You know, you can't just throw everything out there. Even though that's what we did, we had to make sure that it worked first. This is such a goofy hand. We really are relying on some 1-drops and 2-drops off these opening pulls. But a nice hand. Like, there's all the tools here. No companion. We're on the play. Sure wish we had a 1-drop to throw on top. We don't, though. What's going on? What's going on? We have no removal, so it could be awkward. Right, Bonecrusher Giant would be nice. They play slow. We pull more land. Super awkward. We'll play Phoenix first. In case it is just a counter spell. And then we can replay it from the grave, whereas Anax we could not do that. Could be just removal. But again, we can replay it from the grave, whereas Anax we would not be replaying. So that can stay there for later. This is going to be a hard win, because we're playing so slow. Anax in play, probably a counter spell. If they have an extinction event on odds, that would have been really good. They mill 2 cleaves and an Anax. 2 cleaves is good because we already have 1 in hand. The mill is good for the Phoenix, right? So we're going to try to play this Phoenix as many times as we can. This might just be Dimir Rogues. It'll be the Xerath Stand version, right? So we need to manage our graveyard. Oh, they're managing our graveyard as well. Shoot! They're gaining life, and they've taken care of our Phoenix recursion, which sucks. And then a huge mill. Wow. We can cleave and hit for 4. Or we can Torbran hit for 3. It is odd and even. We can get it in play now, so we should take it. And then next turn, the damage output will be higher, and they'll have to use the removal this turn. Whereas if we cleaved and they used the removal, then we have nothing for next turn, right? So, you know, forces them into double removal, and we can still cleave next turn anyways. Trying to do our best. It's awkward. There's the event. They're going to hit even, though, and we're still going to have our champion. Right? Torbran's the bigger threat there. Not good, but it's something. Not good, but it's something, right? Another event cripples us, if they have to. They pay 3 life for that. They want 5 mana up. Shadow Verdict. Gross. That's just as bad. They are top decking though, and we're loaded. Well, not quite top decking, but getting close. That's a land. Are we gonna get it, or is it instant speed? Robert in play will take a draw for us. We have 4 mana still. Didn't say please. Ouch. Is that last spell in hand removal? No. We get to hit for 8. That's really, really good. Lethal next turn. They have Cling to Dust, can take them to 7. Castle Lochthwain's basically out of the question now. 2 cards in hand. They must have something or they've conceded. Yeah, nice. Ouch. So they can cling once. Whether they gain life or a card is kind of awkward. I think they should gain life and then use Castle Lochthwain to draw. If you're listening, Gabby Sharon. Gabby Sharon? Is that someone I should know? I feel like it is. That's not Gabby Sparks, is it? Up to 7, their turn. No more clings. They've got 2 cards in hand. One's a land. We need haste off the top. Phoenix, ideally. No way! Bloosh. Oh, we get access to a Phoenix, though. And it's got haste. I love it. We are in striking distance. Hitting for 3 down to 4. Down to 3 now as they take a draw. They know they have to deal with us this turn. The Cling is out of the question. They could castle for an answer if they don't have it. That's their only choice. There's so many things that get it. That didn't say please was really good, but the mill of it actually came back to help us. Okay, they take counters off it. That does help. It also pushes it into the grave so they can draw, only taking 1 damage. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, nice. Woo! 2 in a row. That's really good for a win streak. And we're into 376. So, you know, we're doing our best, burning our way to the top. Our opponent goes first. Our hand looks pretty nice. They're playing slow, so we shall as well. We have removal. Hollow Blade. Let's pass our turn. Alright, so we're gonna kill the Luminarch. We should have Bone Crushed, actually. That's my bad. Whoops. Whoops! That's a major misplay, actually. Because we could have stomped and shocked. Super awkward. Let's get Anax out. Right. We want to be the aggressor, not them. These smashings will deal a good amount of damage to them. Oh, nice. They're out of mana, though, if they don't drop one. And that's going to be really good for us. We get a 3/3, which isn't bad. That's a nice blocker. For some reason, I thought we had 2 giants. I don't know how I got confused there. LOL. We should have just doubled down and forced the discard. Oh, this guy plays good. And they can protect it now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They still would have discarded and been able to do that, but we would have had the bounty gone and then been able to get it this turn. It can also discard a couple times, right? This looks bad. This is really bad. We should have tried to push harder and taken the smashing. I thought we had 2 giants for some reason. I could have swore we top decked a second giant. I don't know what I was thinking. Down to 3. I think we're just dead. Right? We can't pay life now. We do get the land. That takes us to 6. We can deal 4 split up. But again, they can just give this thing indestructible. So we need the defender in the air. And we need to kill this thing right now. And then we can kill this next turn if they don't have the discard, which they will. Let's take care of it. They could play Luris and replay it. I'm sure they've got that. An XL on the Phoenix as well. We should have smashed that so long ago. Beaker's really good. The Giant Killer's really good too. Yeah, we're just done. If we could split our smashing up 2 more creatures, that'd be alright. There's no way that we really get around this. Because they still have a card to discard, right? And we can't get back in the air. Oh, we have 7. We can cast this for 5. They just discard, give it indestructible. And this makes us sad. Because we don't have a flyer to block. But, you know, maybe they don't. There's a world in which they don't, I guess. Good game. We get our first loss. That's okay. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. They go first, but our curve is perfect. Right? Got that removal. They're on the play. They're also using mono red, which is going to be a tough win for us. Charger slows them down a bit. We have to take it. It appears they may have missed a land drop. We should take advantage of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start taking off their library too. Let's pull their next land drop. Right? Pull a land, pull a land. No. Spikefield Hazard is actually a land though, and a good one. We need Anax out as soon as possible here. Oh, 2 chargers. Decent. This is pretty cool because we can Spikefield Hazard one and get it into exile. We dodged that little bit of damage, which is nice. We're gonna lose our robber. It's understandable. Good card. But we get the Satyr out of it, that's okay. They're bricking, which is such good luck for us. Bad luck for them. No blocks. Right, if they've got a Boulder Rush, that's fine, right? Yeah, do your worst. We're at 13 still. Oh my god. I want to do it. We should. We're so far ahead, it doesn't matter. Typically we wait until everything's wiped, but we can just smash in for an unbelievable amount of damage and then lethal with our giant. I guess it kind of sucks, but I'll take it. Right? I'll take it. You know, we've got punished before, so I'll take the win as well. Alright, we're on the play. 4 land is quite a bit, but if we grab a 2-drop, this is friendly. Give him another 1-drop. Alright, some red on red action. Need removal. Okay, we get that 2-drop. We're on the play, so let's just race on. We get a land interruption. Maybe they needed it. Maybe they didn't. That could be awkward. I don't know. There's their second. Bonecrusher Giant on our robber. Their own robber. Nice. This is like a straight up mirror match. We should have attacked first and tried to pull their own Anax to play. It's just another land though, so it doesn't matter. We've taken 2 of their lands. We've got definitely enough of our own as well. My goodness. Okay, here goes our robber. We get the Satyr though. Looking for an Embercleave. No attacks though, because Anax. Which is cool. He's in the way. Robber should attack still. Oh, something we can play. Another robber. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. That's nice. For land. They're in Anax / Torbran territory. We do have the blockers for it, though. And we're just looking for our own Embercleave. It has to be. I mean, we do still have the other robber. It is the cleave. Ouch. We have the satyrs at least, though, so now we're trying to top deck a Torbran. Oh, the first strike was really good for them, actually. So we have some stuff going on here. Top deck from them again. Hopefully we can play it. Oh! We interrupted that on them. Typically, a cleave would have been better, but... And if we could play that at flash speed, that would be better, because we have to attack again to activate it. Alright. This is okay. This is okay. I think we win. We'll take a game, too. Woo! 80% win rate. Mono red taking it home. That was a pretty close match. I was a little bit worried when they got their cleave out before us. And we barely gained any rank. We went from 388 to 340. Uh-oh, it's getting tough. All right, not so bad. I was scared when we lost that match. I was like, shoot, we made a misplay. Now everything's going to go downhill. And I don't know if playing the smashing early to kill the Alsad, make them discard, would have been enough to get them back with the second. I want to live in a world where it did, and that would have made the win. But a little bit of... I don't want to call it a misplay, but a miscalculation in judgment. Which, is that the same thing? Right? Let me know what you guys thought of that match that we lost. Was it obvious that I should have smashing twice in a row just to try to push them to their limit? Or did we just kind of go out on an awkward limit there? Oh, yeah, no, that was super awkward because I was, like, delusional. I thought that we top-decked a second Bonecrusher Giant in that match. And we didn't. It was a Phoenix or something that we got. Sometimes you just see what you want to see, right, ladies and gentlemen? So that was definitely not even a misjudgment. That was a misplay. So I'm glad those two are the same thing. Anywho, you guys, I got to call myself out, right? That's how we improve as players and individuals. You know, reflecting on the plays, not only like the hard ones, not only the easy ones that worked out really nicely, right? Because it is the life of a sword to sharpen and temper itself against something, you know, that is more dense or is of a harder origin. So, you know, you got to go up against the best. You got to fail to learn to succeed at a higher level, in my opinion. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the channels to your friends. Bug everybody who you know who has an Android phone. Get an Android phone. You see what I did there? It's not called an Android phone anymore now that we've got magic on it. It's an Android phone. All right, you guys, I appreciate you. If you want to support financially, Twitch, Patreon, YouTube, Amazon, link, you know, we got it all happening. Free 500,000 gem giveaway, cash prize tournaments every month, 100 one-on-ones of coaching sessions available to me as well. So a lot of giveaways going on to reward you as well. It's not all about me, even though it sometimes feels like it is, especially when we're playing these banging decks that perform so well. So I appreciate you guys. Without your support, I wouldn't be here, and I certainly wouldn't be in the top Mythic 346. Straight chillin'. Right? Who are we? CGB? What? I appreciate you guys. I'll see you later. Speaking of the devil, I've got to get on a phone call with not only him, but MTG Jeff and Dr. Spillikin as well in a tiny bit here. So check those guys out. If you don't know who they are, MTG Jeff, Dr. Spillikin, and I'm sure you already know of the yacht named Yorion CGB. So, woof. Take care. We'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to check out all my call time spoilers. I know they're banging as well, and you don't want to miss out. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Nice.